Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you are watching a brand new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And I'm excited to, have a new episode out, and I'm excited to be back. And joining me today, if you guys play Marvel Rivals, you've heard this man, you've heard him scream, you've heard him shout, and in the wrestling world, because I love the danger. Because I come from a dangerous background. So everybody, please welcome voice actor, Mr. Daniel Danger Marin. How are you doing?
Let's go.
Yeah.
How you doing, Ben? I'm good. Everything's great. I'm having a good time. I just got off of like a 6-hour stream. My brain is firing on all cylinders because Marvel Rivals is a tough game. It's not easy to play.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I've played it before as well. I actually got excited because I had got 17 kills. I love playing with Ben Grimm. It's clobbering time,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is a tough game and it's very exciting as well. And we're going to get into that. So everybody that's watching, before we get into today's interview, everybody make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new episodes. And let's go ahead and get into it. So Daniel, the first question that I ask everybody up here is, what is your origin story? Tell everybody who you are.
Wow. I come from a family of overachievers. My mom, her whole career, she worked for the UN. My dad was a nuclear cardiologist. My older brother is literally curing cancer. My younger brother works for a huge firm and speaks like 6 languages, and I'm an actor. I was born in Costa Rica. I grew up all over the world because of my mom's job. I spent a lot of time in Brazil, and I played professional soccer in Brazil. And then I got injured and I had to step away from soccer and started taking acting lessons. And by the time I was 17, I knew I was going to be a professional actor. So came to the US to do college, and I stayed. And yeah, man, it's really funny because I always said that I wasn't going to do any voice acting or commercials or stuff in Spanish. And it's what has been my career, So it's one of these things where like I just was open to opportunities and took them when they came and kind of forged the path. I got my first role in TV because I was interning at a soap opera, and one of the producers was choking and I had to give her the Heimlich. And so the executive producer of the show called me into his office. He's like, I heard what you did. What do you want to do in LA? I was like, I came to be an actor. And so they put me on the show, and that's how I got my first acting role. And then kept doing on-camera stuff. It's mostly what I do until one day my commercial agency, the assistant, moved to voice overs. And so he's like, hey, I have this audition for you. I was like, I've never done voiceovers. I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, just come, we'll do it. We'll set it out. And so I did, and I booked it, and I became the voice of a fast food chain for 11 years because of that audition. And so that I just kind of fell into the world of voice as well. And so it's been like a thing where people ask me like, how do you get into voice acting? I don't know. I fell into it. It's part of the acting career. And so all of a sudden now I'm in one of the coolest things. I love video games. I love comics. My first game that I got was Call of Duty, which I've been playing for like, since 2008, 2009 is when I started playing the game. So when I got the audition, all these things, they come in like they're in code, so we're not supposed to know what it is. But I read it and I was like, this is Call of Duty. This is Call of Duty. I know it. And I sent in my audition and I got that part. And it was, one of the best things that ever happened. And then Marvel Rivals came along, and again, we don't know what it is because it's under code. But when I got it, I was like, well, he's the king of the seas. He's got to be either Namor or Aquaman or some new IP. And that was it. I sent my audition late, and 7 months later, I get a call. I was literally at the aquarium petting a stingray with my son when my phone's. I was drying my hands, and I picked it up, and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna be in Marvel," and I was like, "Huh? What? When did I audition for Marvel? What is this?" It's pretty crazy. So anyway, we're here now.
Yeah, that's an awesome origin story, man.
Thanks, man. It's been really cool. It's been really fun because I've gotten to do a lot. Thankfully, it's hard as an actor to make a living, and thankfully I haven't had to have another job since I started. So it's just been like lucky break after lucky break after lucky break, and I feel like I'm just getting started after 20 years.
Right. And sometimes that's how life is, where it's just like you get that one break and that's like the huge opportunity, right? And it's like you have to prove yourself, and you did prove yourself. And now you're voicing now, do you say Namor or Namor?
So it's interesting. People ask me that all the time, and it's the way I see it is like my name's Daniel, but if you're speaking Spanish, it's Daniel.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of what language you're communicating in. The characters that wouldn't say my name, Namor, they say Namor.
Right.
And the ones that would say it, like I think T'Challa says it, and somebody else says Namor. I'm blanking right now, but it's those characters that have more of like a world view that say Namor, and then the Americans Namor. Even Susan calls me Namor. I find it funny.
Yeah, so how I found out about it was my friend Pilar, who cosplays as Mighty Morphin Cosplay. Awesome. I had met her at a con, and she was cosplaying as Namor. And
no way.
And I'll send you a picture after this. But
yes, please.
I said, yo, I love your Namor cosplay, and she was like, well, do you know it's actually Namor, because she's Mexican? And she was like, because I interview cosplayers at cons, and she was like, I'll do the interview in Spanish, and then I'll translate everything for you, so that way you can post the interview like that. And I was like, bro, I've never had somebody do that at a con for me before, so it'll be really cool. And I love her. She's somebody that helps me with my toy drive every year, where I go up to her school. She gets a list of all of the toys and games and shirts and stuff that kids want, and then I come to the school as Santa Banks, and we give out the gifts to everybody. Yeah, man. It's kind of like how you were saying. It's like you never know where life's going to take you. I met her at a con. She was cosplaying as Namor, and now when I'm Santa Banks, she is one of my Christmas elves. So
that's so neat.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, go back to the name thing. I think it's interesting because a lot of people complain to me. They say, you say it wrong. It's not Namor, it's Namor. And I'm like, that's just the way you read it.
Right.
Like my little brother, he grew up reading the Harry Potter series. And then when the movies finally came out, he went to the movie theater and they're like, this is Hermione. He's like, what? It's Hermione. And in his head, he had just read it as Hermione the whole time. So just as an example, like people get mad at me, but I'm like, I don't know that it's ever been said Namor like out loud other than in this game. I mean, maybe in the movies they call him Namor, right? I don't think do any characters call him Namor? I don't remember.
No, I know they call him Namor, but I feel like it's just one of those things where you just say Namor. Like it's kind of like with Ryu and Ryu. Like his name is Ryu. But some people call him Ryu, or even with Super Mario, some people call him Super Mario. And I'm
Mario,
Mario. Like, what are you talking about, my guy?
Yeah, I mean, MCU definitely changed that whole origin story of him and giving him this, Mesoamerican background, and I'm so thankful for that, because I wouldn't have the job I have if they hadn't done that, if they hadn't made him a Latino character.
Right.
But yeah, it was their sort of like, let's have a little freedom in creating this version of him, which was great. I think it's awesome, and I find it fascinating when people get mad about it. It's like, what do you care? He's like, he's in the seas.
Right.
He could be anything. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah. So have you ever like had to check somebody when they came at you because they're like, oh, well, this or that? Like, have you ever had to do that before?
I mean, not really, because the reality is that I don't know more than a lot of fans, right? Mm-hmm. I know a lot, and I did a lot of research, and I keep doing research on Namor and all that. But at the end of the day, I have a philosophy of trying to lead with kindness, and if somebody has their opinions, well, then they have their opinions. Like they're not. If they're not trying to like hurt me because I'm saying Namor, like, well, okay, say Namor. I don't care. Do what you want to do. Like, it's not going to affect me. As long as you're not like doing it to hurt others, then do whatever it is you're going to do. Right. So I don't really check people. I do find it fascinating when someone's like, Oh, like today we had a debate on my stream because they were saying that Namor is the first superhero that came out. And I said, I think he's the second one. I think Captain America was first, then Namor, and then Human Torch. And they kept fact checking me and saying, no, he was first in 1939 and Captain America was in 1940. And I don't know. I've just been under the impression, and my knowledge was that Namor was second, and now they're telling me he's first, and so even better, cool. If he's the first one, then even cooler.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you saying that because I didn't even know that.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
when it comes to comic book history, I feel like it's one of those things where it's just like as long as you know a little bit, you can get by. But there's some people that just know everything, and then they try to fact check you, and it's just like, bro, it's not that deep. Like, thanks for telling me this information, so now I can pass it along.
Yeah. I didn't grow up reading comics. I knew of comics existed, but they weren't a thing that I pursued. It's like if I saw one, I would read it, but it wasn't like I collected them and I was an avid comic reader. When I got the part, my first thought was, I don't know much about this character. I don't know anything other than what I saw in the MCU movie, really. And so I went to the local comic store and I bought as many comic books as I could, and I started reading them. And this was before I recorded anything. It was just after I had booked the part. And I got to tell you, it informed me so much of the character that it also changed the way I say lines. Even the interactions with Susan Storm, after knowing that they have this sort of love, thing going on, it changed the way I read lines. So saying things like, "Oh, Susan," it's different than just saying, "Oh, Susan." Because
Right.
now I know that there's like this weight behind it. He's playful with her. He wants to court her. So yeah, it does help. It also helps with things that I haven't had the interactions with, like with Wanda. The first time Namor joined the X-Men, there was a huge interaction with Wanda and Magneto, and Magneto wanted to hurt Wanda's brother, and so Namor was like, don't talk to her this way. And he was like, I will do whatever I want. And then Namor's like, I'll align myself with someone who talks to women this way.
Right.
And then he destroys Magneto's stuff and goes down into the ocean. And so like that kind of stuff also shows me, oh, Namor isn't a beast. He's got principles and morals. They're his own, but he stands by them, So that also showed me a lot of like the way he leads, as a king. He's not an unfair king. He's not by any means a ruthless guy. He's just, if you stand in his way of what he believes, which is, I always say that Namor's misunderstood. All he wants to do is rule his people and have a beautiful woman to be his queen.
Right.
And humans keep destroying that. They either kill his wives or they destroy his people. And of course, who's not going to retaliate? He's also just a really strong dude. So to say, oh, he's just the villain, he's not. He could be your best ally, but if you're against him, he's gonna be your worst enemy.
Right.
And that's kind of how. But I didn't know this. This wasn't told to me in the audition. This wasn't told to me when they gave me, here's your character packet. It's stuff that I started learning as I read. So yeah, I think the comics are great for anybody who wants to. Also think like there's been like a resurgence with comics because of this game. Like I see people at comic book stores all the time now, and they're buying Luna Snow comics, and it's like, it's really neat. It's really neat to see how the worlds kind of collided into one big, rivals world.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like that's always the thing when it comes to video games or even TV shows and whatnot, because like I said, when it comes to comics, as long as you know a little bit, you can get by. But then it's just like now, because you have that little bit of knowledge, you want to go and investigate and learn more about these characters. Because I didn't know who Luna Snow was until Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
It's like I knew who some of the other characters were, but it's like you see these new characters being introduced and whatnot, and then it makes you go and do research on them. So I think it's really cool that, when you go to comic book shops, that you see people in there buying these comics and talking about these characters because of this game that you were in. So, now I want to kind of rewind a little bit and go back to when you were talking about playing Call of Duty. So I assume that me and you are around the same age. So I'm going to assume it was Modern Warfare, the first one.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even remember which one I started playing. I mean, I played way before it was anything online. It was just,
Oh wow! So all the way. Okay, so then
oh yeah,
further back. Yeah, further back. Yeah,
I think I'm a little older than you think. I'm 41.
Oh wow! Hey,
yeah.
well, yeah, I'm 37, man. I just turned 37 back in January.
Nice.
So we're still close in age.
Yeah.
The first one for me was Modern Warfare on the 360.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so with that being said, there's a professional wrestler named Mr. Iguana, right? And he is in the new WWE video game, 2K26, and he made a post talking about how when he was a kid, he played SmackDown versus Raw, and he made his character in the game. And now, we're in, 2026.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's actually in the game, So I just always think it's cool when you have those humble beginnings of, I was playing this game when I was younger, and now I'm actually in the game. And I think it's a huge win and a huge experience, man. So I want to know, did any of your siblings, did they play Call of Duty with you?
Yeah, my older brother lived with me for a little bit, and we would play together, and it was like this co-op missions and stuff.
Yeah,
my brothers are not big gamers. They play like FIFA, and that's kind of it. But my closest friends and I do play, and especially when the pandemic happened, we were just playing Warzone all day long.
Right.
My kid was 6 months old, so he wasn't needing a lot of my attention. So I could play, and we were playing all day, every day, to the point where like it was just such an amazing time because even before I had kids, I would stay up till 6 a.m. playing video games, playing Call of Duty. I've made some great friends online that I've never met in person yet because we were playing Call of Duty. And then along comes this audition, and so I said it was the first video game I got. It's kind of a lie. I had a tiny little part in a DLC of Just Cause 4. And I remember it was a very small part. But the director, I asked him, I was like, "Look, this is my first job. Like, what can I do to get more of these?" And so he gave me some advice. And part of the advice was like, we get so many auditions that we have to hear a personality in the first few seconds. We have to hear that you are the character, and we don't want to like second guess and be like, oh, maybe he could get there. We don't have time for that. So when I got the audition for Call of Duty, my instinct was, okay, I can either do exactly what all the other operators are doing, or what if this guy's really good at military stuff, but he also has a sense of humor. He's a playful dude, because that exists. That's human nature. So I did it. I took a shot, and originally the audition was for a Brazilian character, and I grew up in Brazil too, so I speak Portuguese, and I improvise some lines in Portuguese. And then when I finally got the part, I went to the studio, and the first thing they said was like, "Daniel, we know that you're not actually Brazilian." And I was like, "Oh no, but I grew up in Brazil," and and they were like, "No, we know you're from Costa Rica. We want you to make this character Costa Rican." And I was like, whoa, what? Costa Rica doesn't even have an army. Do they know this? If I say this, they're going to fire me. So they ended up writing a cool backstory about how he became like a military dude, because Costa Rica doesn't have an army. So they had a cool backstory. But the best part of it was, they asked me to say like Costa Rican slang and stuff like that. And that's something that I had never seen in anything before, of like an actual Costa Rican character being played by a Costa Rican saying Costa Rican things. There are things in that game that if you're not Costa Rican, you have no idea what he's saying, even if you are from, say, Mexico or El Salvador or any other Latin American country. So that was really cool, really unique and awesome that they gave me this opportunity, not only to like be in the game that I love, but also to make him so personal. And then things like, I don't know if you've ever played as Gus, but if anybody that listens has, there's a line that, so they were asking me like, you like the game. How do you like to, take out enemies? How do you like to kill them? It's like, my favorite is throwing a Semtex grenade and sticking them. And they're like, what do you say? And I'm just like, throwing sticky. And the engineer was like, hey, I was rolling on that if you guys want to hear it. and he rolled back tape, and sure enough, and it's in the game. If you throw a Semtex grenade, Gus goes, "Whoo, throwing sticky," and that came from just the way I play the game. And so now it's in the game, and people come up to me the other day, dude. It was so crazy. We went to see this professional like gaming tournament with GGL, which is Global Gaming League.
Mhm.
And one of the guys who was playing Call of Duty, I went up to say hi. I'm like, hey, you know, I voiced Gus in this game. He goes, no way, that's who I play with. And at the same time, we were like, whoo, throwing sticky. And I was like, oh my God, it was so mind blowing. It's such a cool opportunity and experience. So like, yeah, being able to be in the game that I grew up loving, you know, and have so many memories to now be in it. And now, you know, kind of blending everything, I've become super good friends with Elijah Mountjoy, who's the voice of Winter Soldier in Rivals. It turns out him and his brothers also play Call of Duty. And so we've been playing Call of Duty together for the last year, almost every night. We have like a late night stream of Call of Duty, and it's the four of us, and we play as my character because he has this silly cat skin. And so we're the Pussy Patrol, and we run around as cats all over the maps, and it's just surreal. It's amazing. It's such a cool feeling to be able to do that.
Yeah, man, I think that's awesome, and it's really cool. It's something that I've rediscovered, like getting older in life when it comes to playing online with your friends. Because when I was younger, I used to play online all the time, and you know, I remember the times where I would be playing Call of Duty and, you know, saying this about somebody's mom, telling them to do this, and all, you know, because like, you know, playing online, it's ruthless, especially on Call of Duty, man. And I just remember, like you said, staying up till 6 a.m. I would stay up till 3, 4 a.m. and then my mom would have to be to work at 7. And she's just like, I don't want you playing that game anymore at night. It's like you're being too loud. And my brother would be like, yeah, you be saying, you know, F this and suck that. And I'm just like, bro, because it's like they be disrespectful up there. You know, I gotta return the heat to them, because if you don't say anything, then and there's nothing against people that don't say anything, but if you don't say anything, they just gonna keep on talking, you know. So I love the fact that you guys played the games together and y'all dress up in the outfits in the game, so that way that y'all are a unit. Like, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, it's such a fun. It's weird because video games are my escape. So I just, you know, I have 2 small kids. Life is life, work is work, and whenever I sit here and play, you know, my video games, it's my happy place.
Right.
So yeah, when you can find a good squad to team up with and you can enjoy playing the game, it's incredible. It's one of the best things ever. And to be in the 2 games that I really like, because I actually really enjoy Marvel too. Like, you know, I have 4 games that I play even on my stream, and when I stream because it's the only time I have to play, so I might as well do it. But it's like it's Call of Duty, Rivals, GTA, and Breath of the Wild. And that's it. That's my happy place. I wish I could play every other game. I want to play Resident Evil, and I just don't have the time. And there's so many games that I want to try, and everybody's like, dude, you should play this one. I'm like, I would love to, but if I do that, I can't play the other ones that I love playing.
Right, man. And people don't understand. Like, for Christmas, my brother got me Expedition 33,
Nice.
Final Fantasy 16. One of my friends got me Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Another friend got me Demon Slayer.
Dang.
2. Yeah, like, so I got all these games, man. And then what was the Marvel game that came out? Cosmic Invasion.
Yeah.
So then I got that, and then for my birthday, somebody had got me the South Park game, and then now Resident Evil 9 is out, and I'm just like, bro, it's one of the things that sucks about being older, you know, because when you're a kid, you know, you could just play whenever and play all times of day, but you know, having a job, having kids, having a family, like, you can't put all your times into video games unless you're a professional streamer and like that's your job. It's just to play games all day and you're doing 24-hour marathons and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, even today, I like I said, I think I did like a 5.5, 6 hour stream, and it got to the point where like my day's gone.
Right.
And then what? And I have to go do adult things, do the dishes and that kind of stuff. But like, it felt like I maybe played 4 games in that 6 hours. Like it doesn't feel like it used to be like, oh, I can do this forever, and now it's like, oh, what happened? The day's over. I got to play 2 games. I got yelled at by everybody. It's so funny.
Man. Yeah, I'm telling you, whenever you get time to play Resident Evil 9, it's good. It's I'm playing it. I'm screaming. I posted a video the other day. I really need to get on Twitch. I really need to start streaming, because the way that I be reacting to things in these games is funny, because the monster, it came from the ceiling. I tried to turn and run, and then it snatched me up, and I paused the game immediately. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I wasn't expecting that to happen. So
that's so funny.
Yeah, that's why I really need to, get on streaming, man. But I want to ask you.
Let me just real quick. One of our quad team in our squad is Nick Apostolides, who plays Leon in Resident. Yeah. Nice. So it's neat. I met him because of Rivals and whatnot, but we started playing Call of Duty, and now he's in this insane, massive game that's the hottest thing right now. It's awesome. I feel so happy for him.
See, and what I love about how, going back to the beginning of this interview where you say where life brings you to certain points, and we interviewed him back when we first started the podcast. Resident Evil 2, the remake, had just came out, and we were fortunate enough to have him come on as a guest, and he's a really awesome dude. Like, all of the charity work that he does, and going all over the world to help people, he's a hero, man. And I was really grateful that he came on. And everybody that's watching, if you want to listen to that interview, I don't think we were doing videos back then, but if you go on Spotify, you can find the episode up there.
Awesome.
But I wanted to ask you, so what were some other games that you really enjoyed playing when you were coming up?
Honestly, man, I think like most kids, I grew up with the Nintendo stuff, some Mario and all that. But once I loved Halo, and Xbox really kind of, when my friends were going off to PlayStation, and doing all the sports games like NBA and Madden and all that, I was like, I'm on Halo, and that's all I'm doing now. And then I kind of just stuck on Xbox, and I think when I discovered Call of Duty was because I had beat Halo to a pulp, and I couldn't do it again. I was like, I've done this campaign a billion times. And then I discovered Call of Duty, and that was it. Every time I would play, it was either that. When I get together with my brothers, we play FIFA. But it's always super casual. It's just like, let's just, score on each other. That's kind of it, man. I have so many friends that are like super avid gamers, and they try to get me to do stuff. And I have a really hard time learning video games, especially if they're like stories. Like Walking Dead, I couldn't do it. There's something about me sitting there reading a story that I'm like, this is so inactive for me. I need that adrenaline rush of like, go, 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 go. Except now that I'm older and I'm tired, Breath of the Wild is one of the most incredible games I think exist. That one and the sequel, Tears of the Kingdom. Those I could spend just endless hours on and never get bored. I love those games.
Yeah. It's crazy. So I was hanging out with some friends this past weekend, and we were talking about Breath of the Wild, and I told them that I want to play it, but I have so many other Zelda games in my catalog that I need to finish, like Twilight Princess, what was the one, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword. So that's
Wait, you haven't played Breath of the Wild?
Man, no, I haven't, because so I had the opportunity to get it when it came out, but I was just like, man, I don't want to do that because I need to finish these other games. And unfortunately,
dude, we might have to end this interview so that you can go play right now. You have about 30 minutes to get into it.
Well, bro, I mean, I still have my Wii U, and it's on the Wii U.
Holy
it was like
moly.
the last Zelda. Yeah, it was the last Zelda game. It was the same thing. There was a Zelda game that came out on the Wii, and it came. Oh no, I'm sorry. What was the one that came out on the Wii? Twilight Princess. So Twilight Princess came out on the GameCube too. And
oh, really?
It came out on the GameCube, which I thought was really cool, So, but of course,
dude, it's so different though, because the Breath of the Wild series, it's an open world, and so
right.
and it's not like most Zelda games where you're like on top, from a bird's eye view, watching him go through like the thing. This is, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just incredible. It has things that you have to accomplish. So like, you have to eventually go this, and the game sort of might guide you in one way, but you can actively go the opposite way, and all of it ends up in the same place at the end.
Kind of like Fallout.
But I've never played Fallout, but I assume
we might have to end this interview so that way you can go play Fallout.
That's great. I don't think that Breath of the Wild, other than like the characters existing, has any correlation with the other games. So you could play it now and go back and do the other one, and it wouldn't affect storyline stuff. But I honestly, it's one of these things that once you start, you won't want to stop. It is so good, so detailed, so fun. There's so much to do. It's really cool.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, man. When I finally get a Switch 2, I'll play it.
Awesome.
I'll just skip everything else, and then I'll just play Breath of the Wild because you told me
Let's go.
Gotta stop this interview because I need to play it.
Yeah.
But now I want to ask you, because being in Marvel Rivals, and I've never asked anybody this question before, but what are your top 5 favorite Marvel movies of all time?
Ooh. I don't know if I have a top 5, but I definitely have a top 1.
Ooh, okay.
I think the first Iron Man movie set the tone for what the MCU became, in a way that like I hadn't seen before. I grew up on the Superman movies and Batman movies and all that, and Nolan sort of did it with he did it with his Batman series, but Iron Man was just such a badass movie and so cool, and Downey Jr. did such a great job with that role that it just sort of set this world of like superhero movies can be awesome.
Right.
And so I really love what they did with that one, just because I don't think any of the others would have come otherwise. They might have been a little kooky or goofy, or like had the issue that like the DC movies have, where they just can't seem to find their footing. I think maybe James Gunn is doing a better job with it now. And I like Zack Snyder, but they just could never, the movies just weren't as epic and cool. They just seemed like they were trying to do a lot in one space. Right. Versus with Iron Man, it was a character movie set in the world of these superheroes. And so that's what I think resonated with people, is like they are character centric, and we see them go through the dilemmas on top of being a superhero. So like that movie, I think, was the one that like really kicked it up a notch for me. Man, I'm trying to like think, because there were, my wife and I did like a marathon of all the MCU movies up until I think Black Panther. And then we had kids and life got in the way, but the Captain America was, honestly, like the a lot of the origin ones were really cool. Like the first ones of the series were great. I loved the Spider-Man movies, and I think Tom Holland is amazing at it. I think he's such a good Spider-Man too. So those movies too, I don't know if they count. I guess they do, because they're yeah. Man, I don't know that I have a 5. I think if I can just pick the number 1, it would be the Iron Man one.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it to you, man. And what's crazy about that movie is it still holds up. Like it's so weird going back and watching it, and some of the pop culture things he names, where he's just like, yeah, don't post that on MySpace. And I'm just like, half y'all don't even know what MySpace is, you know what I'm saying? So it's funny going back and watching those. And it was last year whenever I'm con crunching, I just put on movies as background noise. And so, I'll just put on the MCU. And at certain points, like, I'll stop what I'm doing and I'm watching, because I'm just like, bro, I remember watching this for the first time in these moments.
Yeah.
Like Chris Evans as Captain America, he killed it as Cap, and he definitely gives the Optimus Prime vibes whenever he's giving his speeches and motivating people. And I always love the callbacks, like when you see stuff in the earlier movies, like in Winter Soldier, where he tells Sam, hey, to your left. And then in Endgame, when Sam comes, he's like, hey, to your left.
Yeah.
Now, what's crazy about this, though, right? is it took me a year to realize that, oh, that's why he said to your left, because he said it in Winter Soldier. I was just like, how did I forget about that? You know, but of course it was 10 years.
They're really good about those little things that like the Uber fans can definitely pick up on and appreciate. And if you're not a fan, it's still a cool moment, you know? Like if you're not like an avid, like watch every moment, it's still pretty cool. But they just, I don't know, there's something about the Marvel movies in particular. And I think also, speaking of James Gunn, like Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one was such a unique movie too. It was so fun, awesome music, you know. I didn't know anything about Peter Quill before that. And then he comes out and he's this like fun-loving, jovial, you know, jokester of a dude. And you're like, oh man, this is a cool, really cool character. And it introduces you to like Groot and Mantis and all these other characters that I had no clue about, you know?
Right.
And now there's such like a staple. Like I am Groot. The entire planet knows what that is. Even if you don't speak English, it's I am Groot. Those kind of things are really cool. It's really cool how like those movies have become such a like a pop culture phenomenon. And then, you know, there's things like Namor hasn't had his own movie, but he was in Black Panther 2. And it's unfortunate that the cast wasn't the same. But you know, then they you know, everybody's like, why doesn't Namor have his own movie? I'm like, he's in Wakanda Forever. That's not nothing. Speaking of, my chair is a Wakanda Forever chair. Yeah, it's just I love what they've done with it. I hope they don't mess it up with the new ones that are coming out. There's always a chance, and I'll use my F1. I hope they don't fuck it up.
Hey, everybody gets one, man. You know, I want to piggyback because, you know, talking about the Marvel movies and Namor appearing in Wakanda Forever, I always feel like it's interesting when people discover a character for the first time, right? Like, so for some people, kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, play Marvel Rivals. I mean, of course they know who Namor is because of the movie, but for some people that probably never seen Wakanda Forever and they play Marvel Rivals and just like, oh, this guy's awesome. It's interesting because for me, when I was a kid, that's how I discovered who Namor was. There was this arcade Spider-Man game, and it had Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Black Cat, and Namor. And I didn't know who this guy was. I was just like, who's this guy in underwear? You know what I'm saying? But it's like he was never really featured in a lot of cartoons or anything like that when I was a kid, or movies. I mean, you hear about him in comics, you see him in some of the video games and whatnot, but he was never really done justice until Wakanda Forever came out. And, you know, I think that the actor who portrayed him, he did an amazing job. He made Namor shine, and then now with you and Marvel Rivals, and you know, bringing him to life in that, and so many people who love playing with him, and also too, and you cosplayed as him as well. So yeah, I want to ask now, like, how was that feeling? Like, was that the first time you had ever cosplayed, or had you cosplayed before that?
Well, I wouldn't say I've cosplayed before. I like every Halloween I either dress up as like a big fluffy mascot or I wear spandex. So that's just my like fun, this is Halloween kind of thing. One year at San Diego Comic-Con, my best friend and I dressed up as the Ambiguously Gay Duo from SNL.
Oh my God, that's taking it back.
Dude, it was so funny because we just did it for fun, thinking nobody's gonna know this. And then people reacted in such a great way, and everybody wanted a photo with us, and we learned all like the quips and the lines and the, you know, the stretches and the
right.
Quick, Gary, come on my back, let's go, you know. And so that was really fun. And then what's also really funny is when I finally cosplayed Namor is because my stream chat were like, hey, if we get you how many subscribers will you cosplay? And I was like, oh sure, give me 250, you know, subscribers, thinking they're never gonna get this. And they did it in one afternoon, and I was like,
wow.
Well, I guess I gotta go cosplay now. So I did that at San Diego Comic-Con. It was like my debut, and it was really fun. Don't know that I'll ever do it again. But it was also really funny because my best friend and I decided to do the Ambiguously Gay Duo again. And it was a very surreal moment for me because I was walking through the San Diego Comic-Con floor as Ace and Gary with the blue, thing and the mask. And some guy's like, "Hey, can I get a photo with you?" And at this point, there were a lot of people that wanted photos. This guy comes and puts his arm around me and he goes, "You're not fooling me no more." And I was like, "What?" Dude, it was such a mind-blowing moment because there was no, that was a moment where I realized this game is bigger than most things most actors get to do. As a voice actor, nobody ever should recognize you for anything. And the fact that people knew who I was in a cosplay of another thing blew my mind. It's one of these like really weird, surreal moments of the San Diego Comic-Con. Before that, I was walking around asking for autographs as a fan. And then all of a sudden I'm on this side of it. And it was just really cool, really strange, surreal feeling. So I don't know if I'll cosplay again because I feel like the expectations are too high, and people will just expect something that I can't deliver because I'm not a cosplayer. I don't know how to sew. I'm really bad at it. I always poke myself. But I have my pieces here from the Namor costume. So
that's awesome.
My stream is currently asking if I will do a cosplay stream. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe that's the next thing I'll do.
Yeah, I know that'll be awesome for him, man. And because it's just like it's Namor playing Breath of the Wild, you know what I'm saying? And then asking you to do lines as Namor as Gandalf, because Link doesn't talk, so it's just like
right.
Do voiceovers for Link while you play the game. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be really fun to see.
Yeah, it's super fun actually that you say that, because when I play Breath of the Wild, I read all the characters that come out and talk, and I'll do their voices. So it's just fun. I do like a late night ASMR stream where I'm just talking quietly as the characters, and my viewers end up falling asleep to the stream, and they say it's the best thing ever.
That's awesome.
It's so funny. Yeah.
So, final question that I have for you before I ask you the listener questions, but I want to know now, when you're not playing video games and doing voiceover work, what are some of your hobbies that you're into?
Man, I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, so my hobbies are them pretty much. I was playing. I used to play soccer. Like I said, I played professionally for a little bit, and then soccer was like my happy place, my go-to. My every week I would look forward to playing soccer. And about 4 years ago, I decided to retire just because I was getting a lot of injuries, and I want to keep my body so that I can play with my kids. So that kind of went away. But I'm also like I love so many things. I love painting. I love I'm a close-up magician too. I like cooking. There's a lot of things that I like to do, but in terms of like having an active hobby, man, the last year has been so different with this Marvel thing and the video games and the streaming. I feel like I have no spare time. My day is literally, I wake up at 6 with the kids, take them to school, come back, and either have auditions or acting stuff or jobs, and then the stream. And then I pick up my kids and I take them to their martial arts and the things and the dance, and then I come home and I make dinner, and then they go to bed, and then I'm back on streaming, and then I do it all over again. And I don't have time to like do the things that I'm like, oh, this is for me. But I'm finding ways of making like playing video games is for me, even though it's on stream. It's like my hobbies have become just making sure that my kids are doing okay.
Hey, that's an awesome hobby though.
It is. They're cool. They're exhausting, but they're cool.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. So now moving on to the listener questions. Are you ready?
Let's go. Yeah.
Because we got some pretty good ones, man. So the first one comes from Caffeinated Ray, and they want to know 1 Namor versus 100 reads for Sue. Who would win?
Oh, I mean, that's not even. Are they asking this for real? Of course.
Yeah, this is a real question.
Listen. This is what I always say. My dear sweet Susan Storm, why would you want that wet noodle when you can have the wet king instead? one Namor versus a bowl of spaghetti. So easy. Just yeah. Namor wins, no doubt.
All right, perfect. All right, the next one comes from Sage O Cotton, and they want to know what's been your favorite part of stream.
Man, my favorite part has been the community that I've been able to build. Honestly, I wanted to create something that was a toxicity-free environment, where people could come, and especially I was really focusing on making sure that female gamers felt like they had a place where they could play and not get yelled at for being a woman. Forget about being good or bad at the game, that kind of stuff. People I feel like even now when I play and I'm like, I'll type, come to my stream, and they're like, nobody gives a shit about your stream, and I'm like, why not? Just try it. It could be fun. But like, so I feel like I've been able to grow this pretty cool group of people that are very positive, kind humans who care about other humans and don't care about being like a jerk. That's been really neat. And it's also, I think, when you're a kid and you play video games, you want other friends to come watch you play. I get to do that. I get to play video games and have, hundreds of people come watch me play. I think that's really cool. Something that I didn't even know was a possibility before. So that's what I like.
Cool. All right. And so now the next one comes from Miss Heartless Girl, and they wanted to say he seems to have fun with Namor. I guess, did he know about Namor before, and what some of his favorite lines or ad-libs from the game?
Yeah, I didn't know much about Namor other than like I knew that he existed. It wasn't until I got the part, even when I auditioned, I didn't know anything about him because I didn't know it was for Namor. But I also like that they gave me sort of free range to create a character. There wasn't like a template for me to follow. Like if I had auditioned for Spider-Man, that would have been really hard because there's so many pre-existing Spider-Man. But there wasn't a Namor other than Tenoch's. And so, it's cool. It's neat because like I remember reading it said he's the king of the seas. And my first thought is, well, who do I know that's a king? Okay, Mufasa. And there's a line that I always say, but he goes, Simba, everything the light touches is our kingdom. And I thought that's who Namor is. He's this royal, regal guy. He's commanding the ocean, so he speaks from his chest. And so Namor speaks like this. It's very Mufasa-y. With the Latin flair and all this stuff. But so that was cool. And I, like I said, reading the comics and teaching me about who he was and is and can be has been cool. So I didn't know much about him. I love everything that I've learned about him. And yeah, I think he's a really cool character. Favorite lines and ad-libs, they've been really cool about letting us kind of do stuff too. I think the interactions with Susan are really fun always. But I also like when he cuts people down and is like, like saying like drown them. It's just such a, oh man, it's such a like a powerful line. So I love that. I love when Namor can showcase his personality more than anything.
So I gotta ask you, man, is Lion King in the top 5?
Movies?
Yeah, no, top 5 Disney movies. Top 5 Disney.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, although
I just had to know. I
just saw a video that said that the opening song, the Cigogna, Babadito, really what he's saying is, oh look, a lion. Oh my God, it's a lion.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't
so it's
know
just
that.
like supposed to be this like amazing moment, and it's just saying like, oh look, there's a lion. Cool. Super
So
funny.
that's awesome. See, look, you just taught me something. I mean, like Lion King is one of my favorite movies, and I never knew that. You know, all of the songs slap, even in the Lion King 2. You know, when that deception, this crazy. You know, everybody knows that, man.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, Lion King is definitely top. And then it's funny because I've been watching. You know, I have the little kids, so we watch a lot of animated movies, and they love the Pixar movies. They don't really like the OG Disney movies as much. And I think a lot of that has to do with like the pacing of stuff, you know, the cuts and that kind of thing. But I'm trying to get them to watch all of them, so hopefully.
Okay, all right. So this question kind of goes into the last question. It was from Samurai Wolf, and they just wanted to know which voice line and Rivals are you excited for the most, without spoiling any of the characters if they haven't been revealed yet.
Yeah, I have an answer for this. So in my stream one day, I don't even know how it came about, but I just came on and I was like, hey, your Wet King is here. And it became an ongoing joke, and it became a thing where I even created merch, and I have like an online store, and like Wet King stuff sells. And then when we did San Diego Comic-Con, I was wearing my Wet King hat, and we did the panel, and I wasn't wearing my hat, but in the middle of the panel, I put my hat on. I just put my hat on. I didn't even think of it. And everybody in the audience started reacting to Wet King logo thing. And after the panel, the developers came up to me. They're like, Daniel, can we talk about this Wet King thing? And I was like, I'm so sorry. Did I do something wrong? They're like, no, we really like it. We want to put it in the game. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, we're going to find a way to put it in the game. Cut to, Deadpool comes around, and Deadpool has an interaction line with Namor where he calls me the Wet King. And it is one of the coolest things ever, because it's not my line, but he's calling me something that came from our imagination, and now it's in the game, and now it's there. And what better character to call me that than Deadpool? It's amazing. It's so cool. So that is one. And then, you know, Marvel Rivals has like printed comics. They also have the digital versions, you know, that you can read. But so the writer, Paul Allure, messaged me one day, and he was like, hey, so just so you know, this comic's about to come is the first one coming out. And he's like, we were having a really hard time figuring out how to end the comic, how to end the storyline. And, you know, spoiler alert, but he goes, we listened to your lines with Jeff, and the way you delivered the lines with Jeff gave us the idea that you guys could be a good team. And so, you know, I think I'm like, you're a good one, little one. Or you're a good boy, little one. Something like this. Like, I forget the line right now, but I'm very, like, it's like talking to my pet dog, you know? And so they created this whole, like, storyline where the end is Namor and Jeff sort of teaming up against everybody else. And I think it's so cool that just the way we read the lines affects the way a comic book is created now. So those interactions were also super cool to me, because now it's in something that is printed. I mean, I have endless versions of this comic book because I love it. I love that it's there. I love that it exists. So those I think would be it.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I always think that it's cool. I mean, even going back to the you know, Deadpool saying the Wet King, like it's something you created, or you know, they see like the dialogue and everything, and it's just like, you know what, like, let's insert this. So I think that that's really cool, man. So super next cool. Up, this is from Fernando is Artistic, and they want to know Emma Frost or Sue Storm.
Ooh, I get this all the time. People always say, how did Namor fumble Emma? I'm like, he didn't fumble her. He's hooked up with her. He just doesn't want her to be his queen. Susan's his queen, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm. You can still look at the menu, you know? Yeah, I definitely don't think that Namor ever fumbled Emma. He just doesn't want to make her his queen. So it's, you know, if you're talking about Emma or Susan for a good time, he's probably gonna have a good time with Emma, but for long term, it's Susan, no doubt, and he'll still have a good time with her.
Right. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. All right. So you know, also the first time I played Rivals, I selected Emma Frost, and I was playing with some friends, and I was just like, oh, now I see why everybody, you know, simps for her now. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah.
So this one comes from Imperfect Comics Art Games, and they had 3 questions, but I want to choose the best question that they had out of all of them. And they want to know, have you met Tenoch yet?
I have not met Tenoch yet. He's I think he's an awesome actor. I was very close multiple times to working on Narcos, and I would have the few characters that I was really close on getting would have worked with him, and I was really, really bummed out when I didn't get to work with him. I think if I ever get to meet him, I hope he's a cool dude. I don't know anything about him other than watching him in interviews, but I would love to be with him. I'd love to, like, you know, take a photo of the 2 Namors. I think that'd be so cool. It's like a weird sort of imposter syndrome feeling, because I feel like I'm not Namor, he's Namor, but then I know that I am Namor, and I get people all the time telling me I can't read the comics without hearing your voice.
Right.
So I know that I've become sort of like part of that world, but you know, video game versus MCU, there's such a big difference, especially in like worldwide knowledge. So, you know, if I can ever meet him, I would love to. I hope he is receptive to the fact that I'm also Namor and doesn't try to drown me.
Well, I mean, look, y'all definitely got to do the Spider-Man thing when y'all finally meet each other.
Yes.
And also, I think that that's a huge compliment when people say that when they read the comics, they hear your voice. Because, like, for me, for example, whenever I read a Batman comic, I always hear Kevin Conroy, like, no matter what, you know. And so that's really awesome, man. Yeah, it's a huge achievement.
It is really neat. I mean, it is really neat that the fact that, like, there wasn't another voice, like I said before. I mean, think there was one guy who did Namor was in a few Fantastic Four cartoons, and it was like this British dude who did it. But in terms of this iteration, there wasn't anybody else. So the fact that, like, I got to do that, and people do, you know, are like, oh, man, I only hear your voice, or you were perfectly cast for it, or, you know, stuff like that. It's such an incredible compliment. It's also a lot of pressure to, like, make sure that I don't, you know, ruin it.
Right.
But it's exciting, and, you know, if again, like, I'm so thankful that Tenoch exists and existed and created this version of Namor, because I probably wouldn't have a job if he hadn't done that. So he's like, you know, I would love to meet him. I'd love to say thank you.
Yeah, well, you know, I'll put the word out, you know, tell my people to talk to him, and we'll see what happens. Because I mean, hey, I know a lot of people, which is what everybody always says. So I might know somebody that knows them, and just like, hey, let's put these guys in contact with each other.
Let's go. That'd be awesome.
All right, so now next up, this is from Andre B. Venom 95, and they want to know, what was your experience with Marvel growing up, like the X-Men, Fox movies, or Sam Raimi's Spider-Man?
X-Men was something that I think I didn't understand as a kid as much as once I grew up, about how X-Men is about how we're all different and all of us have uniqueness, and sometimes being different and unique makes you be ostracized, makes you be outcast, pariah, all these things. And I kind of feel like X-Men sort of taught me that it's okay to be different and it's okay to be the way you are, because we all have powers within us. So I think when I was sort of, as a teenager, struggling with who am I, what's my identity, all these things, X-Men sort of helped with that. Coincidentally, Namor is an X-Men, so it's really cool because of that. And you know, so I think X-Men definitely was like a sort of, you're in the right place kind of vibes. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was awesome. Tobey Maguire was great. I loved it. You know, it was just really cool to see those kind of movies come to life. I remember watching, I think in the 80s, maybe 90s, the Spider-Man TV show, which is like live
Mhm.
action,
Yeah, I
and
remember that show.
it was so crappy, but also so cool, And then all of a sudden comes this badass Spider-Man movie, like I think it's great. I think they're it's so cool that those movies exist, and I love that they brought them back for like all the multiverse stuff. I think it's so cool that they did that.
Yeah, it's crazy that you mentioned that Spider-Man show. So I think it came out like in the 70s, I believe.
Probably, yeah, yeah.
Like they were showing it on TV. Same thing like with the Incredible Hulk show that came
Hmm.
out in the 80s and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Like those early Marvel shows and stuff like that. Like you said, it was crappy, but they were fun to watch. But then there were certain things like the Captain America movie. I remember watching that for the first time, and I was like, man, like this is bad.
yeah.
Back on the TBS days where they were showing like movies like that and RoboCop and all that stuff. It was cool growing up in the 90s. Now you can just watch whatever whenever, but back then, turn into channel 99 and waiting for the TV guide to go up so that way you can
Yeah.
see what was happening next. And so yeah, and thank you for taking it back to the 90s. So this is the final question, and this comes from Rukaru, and they want to know, how do you feel about Bucky and Black Widow's relationship?
Hmm.
Does he think do you think that Marvel Rivals should do more story lore and dialogue between the two?
Um, Bucky's one that is so fascinating to me because I didn't really care for him in the MCU movies. It was just like a peripheral kind of guy that I didn't feel attachment to. Very similar to like Hawkeye. It was just like a peripheral character that I didn't understand or care for. Once we started doing this game and I befriended Elia, who voices Winter Soldier, I started caring so much more. And it wasn't until I started talking to him that I realized that, oh, him and Natasha have something, and there's a history there. Then of course I go back and I watch movies and I'm like, or even with like the new Avengers, like there's all these like new things that I'm learning about them. I think it's great. I think it's great that they have any sort of interact. They have some lines together in the game, but in terms of like more lore and that kind of stuff, I would love if Marvel Rivals somehow created an animated show. And if it was even done to like maybe bridge the gap between the seasons, or have like an ongoing sort of story arc so that it kind of makes sense with the game, that would be really cool. And I think that's where you could explore all these things, kind of like X-Men 97 does, where there's like really cool things and love stories and that kind of stuff. So like, yes, I don't know that the game is the place for it, but I'm sure the cool thing about Marvel Rivals is that the developers are huge fans of this stuff. So I think part of the success of the game is that they were very lore accurate and they love the details and things, and like, even like, oh, this skin comes out and you're like, what the heck is this skin? And then you're like, oh, that skin was actually in one comic in 1967, so like they just are very aware of this stuff. So my thought is, if they want to expand on this, they will, because they know about it, so I leave it up to them if they want to do the cool stuff like that. There's a world where a new character gets introduced and Namor pivots from being crazy about Susan, who's married to Richards, and then Namor has his day in the sun with the right queen kind of thing, so like, I think a lot of it is just catching up, because the game is moving so fast, and there's so much to explore. And especially now, like, this question is crazy because people are caring a lot more about these characters that they may not have cared as much before in this new medium, and then going back to everything, like, a lot of people didn't know about Namor before this game. So many people have discovered him because of the game, and they're like, wow, I didn't even know he was a thing. And then I went back and I saw Black Panther, and it's crazy. It's so cool that you guys did this. So like, a lot of people are getting introduced to these characters, and I think there's so much more room for these characters to grow. and hopefully they keep developing really cool stuff for them.
All right, thanks for asking that, man. And yeah, so now we're here at the end of the interview, and I just want to say thank you very much for joining me up here. It was a pleasure talking with you, Daniel. And the last thing that I always ask every guest to do is tell everybody in social media land where they can find you at.
Yeah, man. My socials all have, it's Danger Marin on everything. Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, I think. Yeah. So if you want to find me, that's where to do it. And man, this was really fun. You're really easy to talk to. You're really fun. I feel like we're buddies, you know. So I appreciate this. I appreciate that you like kept insisting on getting the interview done. It's been really hard to schedule stuff, but I'm glad we got it done. And I hope this is the last time we talk.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate that, man. And yeah, that's one of the cool things about this podcast is one thing we always would say is when you come on the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, it's like Olive Garden, because when you're here, you're with family.
Yeah, let's go.
Now that we did this interview, I owe you some breadsticks. So
let's go.
Hopefully we can meet in person one day. Because my good friend Brittany Cox, who we've had up here multiple times, I owe her a lot of breadsticks, and I told her I'll make sure I have the marinara sauce on the side because I appreciate everything that she's done, and she's a cool person. So with that being said, I
love Brittany, man.
Yeah, bro, she's the greatest, man. Super sweet. And y'all make sure that y'all go and check out her interviews that are up here on the channel as well. And you know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks at @KingBenji_Banks on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. So with that being said, stay positive, keep that pinky up. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.